After 60 years of life, who do you think will truly stay by your side until the very end? Your wife? Your children? Think again. Many elderly men and women have learned the hard way that the people they once relied on, spouses, children, even close friends, may not always be there when they need them the most. Life changes, priorities shift, and as we age, we begin to see a truth that no one warns us about. The people we spent years sacrificing for may not be the ones who stand beside us in our final days. But that doesn't mean we are alone. Because while people may come and go, there are 6 things that never leave you. 6 things that will either be your greatest source of strength or your biggest regret. Today, through real-life stories of men and women in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, we'll uncover these 6 things so that you can prepare now and ensure that when the time comes, you are never left feeling abandoned or unprepared. Let's begin. 1. Your own body. The only companion that never leaves. Mr. Lee, now 78, spent his entire life working tirelessly to provide for his family. He was the kind of man who never took a sick day, always putting his job and loved ones first. Late nights, early mornings, skipped meals. He believed that sacrificing his own well-being was a sign of dedication. He told himself that one day, when everything was settled, he would finally rest and take care of himself. But that day never came. Now, at 78, Mr. Lee finds himself alone, struggling with weak legs, aching joints, and fading eyesight. He watches younger men jog past his house in the mornings, wishing he could still move like that. But years of neglect have taken their toll. His children visit when they can, but they have their own families and responsibilities. His wife, who once leaned on him, now faces her own health struggles. And in the quiet moments, he realizes something painful. His body, the one thing he thought he could push to the side, is now his biggest burden. If there's one lesson Mr. Lee wishes he could tell his younger self, it's this: your body is the only thing that truly belongs to you. Money, success, even family, these things may fade or change, but your body is with you from the day you are born until the very end. And if you don't take care of it, no one else will. So, what can we learn from Mr. Lee's story? Invest in your health now. Move your body every day, even if it's just a short walk. Eat foods that nourish you, not just ones that satisfy cravings. Get enough rest, because every hour of sleep you sacrifice today will cost you in the future. Your body is not just a machine to push through life. It's the home you will live in until your final breath. Treat it with care, and it will take care of you in return. 2. Your mind. Your only true friend in loneliness. Grandma Ruth, now 85, has faced the kind of loneliness that many fear. Her husband, the love of her life, passed away years ago. Her children, though loving, have their own families and visit only occasionally. The house that was once filled with laughter and movement is now quiet. But despite this, Ruth does not dwell in sadness. Instead, she has found a secret to aging gracefully, keeping her mind sharp and full of joy. Every morning, she sits by the window with a book in hand, immersing herself in new stories and knowledge. She solves puzzles to keep her brain active and challenges herself to remember small details from her past. What her mother's voice sounded like, the way her husband used to smile at her, the scent of the flowers in her childhood home. To her, These memories are treasures, and her mind is the key to unlocking them. My mind is my best friend, she says. As long as I keep it engaged and happy, I am never truly alone. Many people assume that loneliness comes from being physically alone, but the truth is, loneliness starts in the mind. If your mind is filled with regret, negativity, or emptiness, no amount of company can fix that. But if you nurture your thoughts, stay curious, and focus on the beauty of life, even in solitude, you will never feel truly alone. So, what can we learn from Grandma Ruth? Take care of your mind as much as you take care of your body. Read, learn new things, and engage in conversations that stimulate your thinking. Avoid dwelling on negativity. What you feed your mind today will determine how happy you are in old age. In the end, when people come and go, your mind will always be there with you. Make sure it's a good friend, not an enemy. 3. Your habits. They decide your quality of life. Mr. Thomas, now 82, used to tell himself, "I'll start exercising next week," or "One more unhealthy meal won't hurt." He believed he had time to fix his habits, time to take better care of himself. But years passed, and his small choices turned into a lifestyle. Now, at 82, he struggles to get out of bed without pain. His legs feel weak, his energy is gone, and even simple tasks, like tying his shoes, leave him exhausted. He looks back and realizes his suffering today is the result of the habits he neglected yesterday. Just across the street, Mrs. Angela, 81, lives a different life. Every morning she takes a slow walk in the park, breathing in the fresh air. She eats light dinners, avoids overeating, and always practices gratitude. Her body is strong, her mind is sharp, and her days are filled with purpose. The difference between her and Mr. Thomas? Their habits. Most people believe that old age suddenly arrives one day, bringing weakness and illness. But the truth is, old age is built daily, through small, repeated choices. The things you do today, whether good or bad, will shape your future self. So, what can we learn from this? Build good habits now, or suffer later. Move your body every day, even if it's just a short stretch. Eat wisely, because food is either medicine or poison for your future. Keep your mind engaged and your heart filled with gratitude, because in the end you don't just grow old, you grow into the habits you've created. 4. Your character. How you treat others comes back to you. Madame Lillian, now 90, never had children of her own. Some might assume she would be lonely in old age, but the truth is quite the opposite. Every week, neighbors stop by to check on her, bringing home-cooked meals and sitting with her for long conversations. The young children in the neighborhood call her Grandma Lillian, and whenever she steps outside, she is greeted with smiles. Why? Because throughout her life, she treated people with kindness. She helped her neighbors when they were in need. She spoke with warmth, and she never held grudges. Now, in her final years, that kindness has come back to her in the form of love and companionship. Just a few blocks away, Mr. George, 87, lives a very different life. He was once a respected businessman, but he never took the time to build relationships. He kept to himself, rarely showed warmth, and often dismissed others with cold words. Now, in his old age, he finds himself sitting alone. His phone never rings, and the world seems to have forgotten him. He wonders why no one comes to visit, but deep down he knows. He pushed people away when he had the chance to welcome them in. The truth is, Your kindness in youth determines your companionship in old age. People remember how you made them feel. If you treat others with warmth and care, you will never be truly alone. But if you isolate yourself with coldness, don't be surprised when no one is there in your final years. So, what can we learn from this? Be kind, be compassionate, and build relationships that matter. A simple act of kindness today can return to you decades later in ways you never expected. Because in the end, it's not wealth, status, or success that determines how loved you are. It's the way you made others feel. 5. Your financial wisdom. Money won't stay, but its impact. Will, Mr. Robert, now 75, always believed that money was meant to be spent. He enjoyed the best restaurants, bought things he didn't need, and never worried about saving. He assumed that when he got older, his children would take care of him. But life didn't go as planned. His children grew up, started their own families, and had their own financial struggles. Now, Mr. Robert finds himself relying on a small pension, struggling to pay for even basic needs. He never thought he would be in this position, but reality has taught him a harsh lesson. Money won't stay, but its impact will. Meanwhile, Mrs. Susan, now 77, made different choices. She lived modestly, saved whenever she could, and made small but smart investments. She never lived beyond her means, and she always planned ahead. Now, even though she isn't wealthy, she lives comfortably. She doesn't worry about medical bills or daily expenses. She can enjoy her remaining years in peace because of the decisions she made decades ago. The biggest mistake many people make is assuming that someone else, whether their children, the government, or luck, will take care of them in old age. But the truth is, your financial habits today will determine your security tomorrow. So, what can we learn from this? Save wisely, live within your means, and plan for your later years. A comfortable old age isn't about being rich. It's about being financially independent. Because at the end of the day, money itself won't stay with you, but the choices you make with it will shape your future. 6. Your inner peace. The only thing that truly matters. In the end. At 92, Grandfather Huang has outlived most of his friends and family. He has seen love and loss, joy and sorrow, and the rise and fall of many things in life. Some might expect him to be lonely, weighed down by grief. But every morning he steps outside, smiles at the sky, and breathes deeply, grateful for another day. He doesn't dwell on what is gone. He cherishes what remains. He once said, "The greatest gift in old age is peace of mind. If you carry bitterness, regret, and anger, you will suffer. But if you embrace gratitude and let go, you will find joy until the end." There are many elderly people who spend their final years trapped in the past, resenting those who hurt them, regretting mistakes, or feeling angry at life's unfairness. But Grandfather Huang has chosen a different path. He forgives freely, he accepts what he cannot change, and he finds beauty in simplicity. He understands that true happiness doesn't come from wealth, status, or even companionship. It comes from within. The truth is, in the end, what truly stays with you is your inner peace. No amount of money, no number of friends, and no material possessions can replace the feeling of a peaceful heart. If you let go of resentment and embrace gratitude, you will find comfort even when life is difficult. So, what can we learn from this? Forgive, let go, and appreciate the small moments. Peace is not something you find, it's something you create. And when everything else fades, it will be the one thing that truly remains with you. Conclusion. After 60 years of life, the truth becomes clear. It's not your wife, your children, or your friends who will stay with you until the end. It's your body, mind, habits, character, financial wisdom, and inner peace that truly determine the quality of your final years. The choices you make today will shape the life you live tomorrow. So, take care of your body, sharpen your mind, build good habits, treat others with kindness, be financially wise, and most importantly, find peace within yourself. Because in the end, you are your own greatest companion. If you found value in this video, let us know by commenting 9 if you agree, or 0 if you have a different perspective. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching and take care of yourself. See you in the next video.